The city moved in a blur of gray and steel, a rhythm she could no longer match. Days bled into one another, marked only by the growing stack of papers on her desk and the hollow echo of her own footsteps on the pavement. In the relentless current of deadlines and expectations, she was losing her footing, a solitary figure adrift in a sea of indifferent faces. The weight of it all pressed down, a constant, silent pressure that left her feeling frayed and transparent, as if the slightest gust of wind could pull her apart. Each morning began with a sigh, a quiet surrender to the overwhelming tide of her own life, where the vibrant colors of her dreams had faded into muted, forgotten tones. One afternoon, seeking refuge from the city's ceaseless hum, she found herself in a small, overlooked park. It was a pocket of tranquility she'd never noticed before, tucked away between towering buildings. As she sank onto a weathered bench, her gaze fell upon a startling sight. There, pushing defiantly through a hairline crack in the concrete walkway, was a single, tiny flower. Its petals were a brilliant, impossible shade of violet, a stark contrast to the drabness surrounding it. It was so small, so fragile, yet it stood with an unyielding grace, a vibrant spark of life in a place where none should be. She leaned closer, captivated by its tenacity, a silent testament to a strength she felt she had long since lost. An old man with hands weathered like ancient bark and a gentle smile noticed her fascination. He knelt beside a nearby rosebush, his shears making a soft, rhythmic snip. "It's a persistent little thing, isn't it?" he said, his voice warm and kind. He explained that the flower, a wild violet, returned every year, no matter how many times it was trodden upon or overlooked. He spoke of resilience, drawing parallels between the plants he tended and the human spirit. "Some plants need perfect soil and constant care," he mused, gesturing toward a manicured flower bed. "But others, the strongest ones, find a way to bloom in the hardest places. They don't just survive, they find the light, no matter how little there is." He pointed to a sturdy oak. Its roots run deep, holding it firm through any storm. "We all have roots like that, you know? Sometimes we just forget how to use them." His words settled deep within her, planting a seed of hope in the barren soil of her weariness. She looked again at the tiny violet, no longer seeing just a flower, but a mirror. It was a symbol of her own buried strength, a reminder that resilience wasn't about avoiding the cracks in life, but about finding the courage to grow through them. The gardener's simple wisdom had illuminated a path forward. She realized she'd been waiting for the storm to pass, when what she needed to do was strengthen her own roots. A quiet determination began to replace the exhaustion in her eyes. The world hadn't changed, but her perspective had. Returning to her apartment, the mountain of work on her desk no longer seemed insurmountable. She approached her tasks with a newfound clarity and focus, tackling each one with a steady resolve she hadn't felt in months. The next day, she brought home a small terracotta pot and a packet of seeds. She placed it on her windowsill, a simple, hopeful act. Tending to the small sprout became a daily ritual, a quiet moment of connection and a tangible reminder of the gardener's lesson. The small green shoot was her own piece of resilience, a promise she was making to herself to nurture her own growth, no matter the conditions. Weeks turned into a month. A genuine smile now reached her eyes, and her steps had a lighter, more confident rhythm. The once overwhelming city now felt like a place of opportunity, its energy a force she could meet rather than be consumed by. The final shot is of her windowsill, where the small plant now stood tall and vibrant, its leaves reaching eagerly for the sun. It was thriving, a living, breathing testament, not just to survival, but to the profound and beautiful strength found in the decision to grow.